Well, I guess a little bit like what you said, I like trying to help people. And people's problems, even though people sometimes have similar problems, each of them are really unique to that person because every person's different. And so the thing I really like about my job is seeing the different problems people have and just trying to help them.
Okay. How many cases a day do you handle?
Mm. Well, it really depends on the day. Some days um, I may only have a couple cases, and some days I may have as many as 10 or 12. But it also really depends on the size of the case. I mean, I have also had trials that have lasted for as long as a couple months, and so obviously I can only do one case for that couple month period of time when a case lasts a really long time.
Okay. And do you mind telling what kind are they?
What kind of cases?
Yes.
I do all kinds of cases. I um, have a small town kind of practice, so I help people with all kind of things. I mean, like today, I've worked on criminal cases today. Um, I've worked on criminal cases ranging from um, drug cases to um, assault cases, an assault case to a theft case. Today, I've also worked on a child support case and a child custody case today, um, and also an estate case where somebody died and you help them take care of their property.
Okay.
So I work on lots of different kind of cases.
What made you become interested in this field?
Well, I think it was two things. I think the first was I did see it as a way to try to help people, and I guess a little like you also, I just want. I think we all just kind of want to help people out, and I found it was a good way to be able to help people. But the other thing that really attracted me to it was I really um, appreciated the opportunity um, to be my own boss to a certain extent, even though I have to go when the judge tells me to go to court. I have to be there, so I can't control my time totally. But if, for example, I think it's important that I help one person and not spend time on another case, and I can do that. The other thing that I really found that I really like is it has enabled me to be able to control my schedule to the extent that I really enjoy volunteering in schools. And so it enables me to go and be able to spend time in different schools and work with children, hopefully helping them so they don't end up being my clients.
Okay. What was one case you love working on?
Um, I guess it's kind of hard to talk about just one. I'll tell you one a case that I've enjoyed recently. I was helping out. Life is hard for folks. Life isn't easy,
True.
and even though we see people around and we think to ourselves, they kind of have got it all together, everything's okay, but there's nobody that really has things totally figured out. And there's nobody that doesn't have hard things going on in their life. And we may see somebody that's driving a nice car, or maybe they live in a house we think is nice, and we think they don't have any problems. But everybody has bad problems and has hard things. And I was with a young lady recently who I helped out. Um, she things seemed to be going really well in her life. She was about your age, and she had just gotten married, and she had a job, and she and her husband had just had a baby, and things were going so well. And one day, she and her husband went to visit her mother, and they had driven in separate cars. And when they left her mother's house, they were going back to their house. And the husband left just a few minutes before she did, and on the way back to her house, the traffic stopped, and she realized there had been a wreck up ahead of her, and they were down at the coast, and so she had to wait in line while they were kind of clearing the accident area, and it was a long time she had to wait, and she realized that as the car got brought up out of the water, that was her husband's car, and he had died, and so she saw him brought up out of the water, and she had her baby with her, and it was really so hard to her. over the next months, she didn't know what to do or how to deal with her grief and heartache that she had as a result of her husband dying. And she eventually turned to drugs and got involved with heroin. And we can kind of sit here and say, oh, that's really bad, and it is really bad.
Yeah, it is.
It is really, really bad. But, the reality is she was trying to dull the pain that she was having, and that wasn't the right way to do it. But um, she was, they were going to send her off to jail for a really long time, for about 10 years. And we started working together, and I really tried to help the judge understand that this lady was just like you or me. I mean, she wasn't out dealing drugs and trying to be a mean person. She fell into this trap, and once she had tried it, trying to escape her bad feelings, she got hooked on it, and it really messed her up. Before we went to court, she had gotten clean. She had had 8 days of going cold turkey, and been a really hard 8 days. And then she'd gotten involved with rehab and gotten a job, and was doing pretty good. And we were able to help her get probation, and I really enjoyed working with her.
That's good.
Her name was Casey.